Hey,
Yay!
I was saying, I
hmm
thought you were going to start off the show saying, all right, like you usually do.
I was gonna say that, but since I thought you were thinking that I was gonna say that, I wanted to do something different. Especially because today on the Entrepreneur, the Business Heroes podcast, we're doing a pivot.
Yep.
So I thought it would be good start the whole show off with a pivot, even of how I start.
Okay. I
so
get it.
so
I get
maybe
it.
I can start off yay instead of all right. I don't know what do you think.
Hey, as long as we get started, right?
That is so true. And
Yeah.
I know I said it off camera, but since we're on camera, I do want to keep this by saying that you look very attractive. I think the purple looks really nice with your skin.
Thank you, dear. And you look amazing. You
Thank
got, I
you.
don't think your hair was done quite this way at the last show. And
No,
so
was it?
I think this is a good natural, it suits you very well.
Thank you. Thank you. I have some really strong reasons why I went to this hairstyle that I will not share in this show. But if you want to know about it, you can always, direct message me on Facebook or, for those of you who know me, just go ahead and give me a call. I'll tell you
Yeah.
if you really want to know. But anyway, I'm really excited about today's show, Victor. I am because, we're calling the show our pivot and we're going to start having guests on our show again that will kind of be in the mind of that pivot that we're
Mhm.
doing, and we're going to talk to you about it. But for those of you who may be watching the show for the first time, my name is Mia,
And my name is Victor.
and this is the Business Heroes podcast, where originally we were interviewing entrepreneurs that were pursuing purpose, profit, and what was the last one? I can't even remember,
Well,
man.
I think it was purpose and profit, but I think
Purpose
we're
and profit.
adding the
Thank you.
word passion.
Passion, exactly.
Yeah.
So they were pursuing purpose and profit so that they can affect the world for good. But now we're adding to that passion. And not only that, but as a part of our pivot, we are opening it up. We have some amazing individuals that we have talked to since we've started our show and people that we knew even before our show started. And they are high performing professionals. And we think that our audience will highly benefit not only from those entrepreneurs who are business heroes, but those high performing professionals that are also heroes in their spheres of influence, especially as it pertains to paying attention to their mental health,
Mhm.
right? And Victor, that's the part I'm really excited about. Our organization is called Pain Unwasted because a few years ago, I actually struggled with a nervous breakdown. And it was so bad that I had to be hospitalized for suicidal ideation. And before that, I'd been a principal and a teacher. I traveled the world to so many different countries with my husband. And I never would have thought that Mia Pyle, would have wound up in the blue suit, as they call it. And when I look back over my professional career, I had a lot of toxic thinking,
Mhm.
that I didn't realize was toxic. I thought this is what you need to do, this is what you need to have, this is what you need to be. And it really showed up after I had my first daughter, those toxic beliefs that I had that I believe were a strong uh, factor in causing me to be mentally unhealthy. And so we're going to actually be highlighting that even more on our show. And I would say that is one of our biggest pivots, right?
Mhm.
Just the ability to have the conversation about mental health as it pertains to professionals, especially high performing professionals, entrepreneurs, however you see yourself. We have some toxic beliefs that we have to address and we have to look at so that we can continue to stay healthy for our families. And so I'm really excited about that.
And just real quick,
Yeah.
as you're mentioning staying healthy for our families,
hmm
we did not have a show last week.
That's
We did not
true.
have a show last week because we were out celebrating our family. Mia and I celebrated 16 years, 16 happy
Yes.
years of
Right.
marriage. And so we took our kids with us to Tennessee Aquarium.
Yes, that's
It's
right.
beautiful,
That's right.
beautiful place. You get to actually see penguins. I don't know why I always highlight the penguins.
I think you
Probably
like the
because
penguins.
I do like the penguins. They were kind of shady last time though. They weren't trying to swim. They were just all the way at the back. But anyway, that's not what this show is about. But the purpose of bringing that up is sometimes you gotta step away to take care of family. You can't get so wound up in business that you're plowing through special occasions, special events, and things that are meaningful to the family. And so that's why we did not have a show last week.
Now, Victor, let's just go there for a minute, all right? Because that's like really controversial, because if you're a high performing professional, whether you're a pastor, a teacher, a business leader, an entrepreneur, it can be really, taboo to say to your employer or, to make certain plans that, hey, I'm actually going to show up for Christmas and not still be on my phone, my tablet, my device, whatever you use to stay connected to business, or I'm not going to, I'm actually going to take this time off to feed my mind, feed my body. I don't know, what would you say about that? Like, did you have any drawbacks when we decided we weren't going to do our show last week? Did you kind of feel like, oh, this is a bad idea, or like what were your thoughts?
No way at all.
Okay.
Like, no, we needed to celebrate. I mean, how many people are not happy in their marriage? And we're not gonna go there. Like
Today.
yeah, but like no, like I got the woman of my dreams, like the woman I prayed for, and that like loves me for me. And I mean, there's so much more I can say. And that's aside from the fact that I really feel like I've seen a whole lot of exponential growth in you that's really been inspiring me over the past few months in particular, all throughout our marriage, but like especially now. And to just let that day go by, even though we did celebrate a day after, but like whatever the case, like to not pause to celebrate that, like I did not miss. I mean, maybe I kind of missed the show. I thought about doing a live as we were on the way, but at the end of it, no, we celebrated. There would be no podcast if there was no us.
Whoa, that's really hot, because, okay, you said a few things that make me want to, so let me just put this out there. There would be no podcast if there were no us. And there are a lot of professionals that are working so hard for their family, but they're not with their family, right? The idea is that, I've got to get out, I got to grind for my family, got to make sure that my family's going to be well taken care of. But at the end of the day, all the grinding keeps them away from their family. And the other thing I wanted to say when I was listening to you, love, and you're totally the man of my dreams. Like, oh my goodness, I am so blessed to have you. And I know that it's not just, fairy dust or some like, it is a miracle, but it has taken intentionality for us to have the relationship we have. And, some people, they will say to us, oh, you guys just got lucky, or, oh, it's just y'all two. That's why. But it's really not, having a wife in the behavioral health hospital, how lucky do you feel? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not trying to, speak about that moment without reverence and respect, because honestly, being in the behavioral health hospital was one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. And I really feel even to our relationship, but if you think about what other people think, or even what you yourself could think, it's like, whoa, this is really embarrassing, And so our relationship is really based on a lot of intentionality and a lot of prayer and a lot of really God just helping us through those hard times. And we want to be able to bring that in our coaching program that we're developing. It's going to be awesome. And I just want to, can I just share with you guys, like, we are going to be doing a mastermind. Okay. And this is for high performing professionals and entrepreneurs that really, you're concerned about your family, your business, and your wealth. And you want to make sure that those are intact. Maybe you're experiencing troubles and trials, you're having inner conflict, and you need help. Maybe you've experienced some deep pain. Your business, your family has hit a pain point, and you want to know how to turn that around. Well, we're here for you. And I want you to know that, honestly, Victor, I did struggle when we were on our family vacation instead of doing the podcast. For me, I struggled with guilt. And I don't know about any of you, but I like to laugh and joke and be silly. But there's a part of me that's that A-type personality. Some people call it choleric, where it's like, we gotta, we gotta do it now, and it's got to be done this way. And so for me, I was, I had to use my tools to process through the guilt of saying that's irresponsible. That's irresponsible of you to go and have fun when you're trying to build something. You can have an anniversary later. You need to focus on building what you're building, because the opportunity may not be there later. And I
I'm glad
mean,
you ain't tell me that.
and if I see there's a few people on, if anybody, has ever struggled with that, please put it in the chat. We want to hear from you. Have you felt like, it's irresponsible to take care of yourself? It's irresponsible to do something fun, especially at a particular point in your career. I'd love to hear from you, what your thoughts are. For those of you who aren't on now, but you'll be watching it later, we want to hear from you. Have you ever struggled with the guilt of doing something good for yourself? And so for me, yeah. And so there were times where I want to be in the car and just be like, just so you know. And
What do you mean, just so you know?
like, I'd want to get on my phone and just kind of be like, so, we're not doing our Business Heroes podcast today, but, and start documenting it. And, maybe that's fine for someone, but I knew for me what it was about. I knew for me that it was about trying to quiet down the guilt of you're being irresponsible. You should not be doing this right now. Here's another one that can be difficult. For high performing, professionals and entrepreneurs, I wonder, do we also struggle with the idea that, I cannot afford financially to lavish so much on myself and on my family? You know what I mean? Like for your finances, like, okay, so maybe it's just me again. Somebody help me if it's just me. But the idea also was, okay, I was struggling because I was like, man, I do actually like to spend money. I'm going to be honest. But the thought was, well, couldn't this money actually have been, better invested into the business? Do you get what I'm saying? The idea of, see, you're not even there. Like, you're not thinking like that. You're like totally into like, hey, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do it. But me, there was part of me that was like, man, the money that we're using on this trip, how about investing it into marketing a little bit or something? Like, what are we gonna do? I don't know. Like, that was just me.
I think for me, I don't know. I think I've bumped my heads. I think even before we had kids,
Okay.
a couple of times. And, I guess what I'm realizing is when I look around at whether it be my peers or the circles that I'm in, and I see how families can fall apart when one or both parents are so driven. And this is not a condemnation. This is just my observations.
Yeah.
When people can be so driven that, they're not in tune with the needs of their family, spending quality time with them, especially when you've got kids in the picture. And I've just seen how things play out. I thought it's just like, I don't want that. And me, I am or used to be the type of person that would just stay in the office until, late because, I'm driven. I gotta get this done. And I've just realized through, observation and my own research that that's really not the way to go. Like, if you're going to have an imbalance, with between life, I guess between family and work, let that imbalance be towards your family, because you can always lose a job and you can always get another one. You can't always get your family back. Well, you can't get your family back once they're lost. Well, that might be slightly debatable, but I think you all understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, the core.
So like,
it's more devastating, perhaps.
Yeah. And so at the end of the day, what do you want to have? You want to have your family intact, or do you want to have, a bunch of money from working extra hard? And it seems like people that take that lean, maybe without consciously thinking about it, end up really not happy. They might be rolling in dough, so to speak, but they might not have their family, and that's what I don't want.
Well, neither do I. And the wonderful thing is we can have both. We can have a successful business and we can have our family and not have to feel like we have to lose out on either one. And that is what we have been discovering, and it's really awesome because, and especially to our Black, Indigenous, people of color, they say BIPOCs, right? Those of us who have inherited, I know BIPOC.
I've never seen that acronym.
Well, it's Black, Indigenous, people of color. Basically, we have inherited a work culture, this idea that we are accepted in society based on how hard we work, how well we perform, what we're able to do, to be considered a respectable member of society, and so a lot of times that mentality can come up for us. We've been trained by our parents that wanted the best for us, that wanted us to succeed, to have a certain type of work ethic that could, it will be helpful, but there's also parts of it that can be unhelpful. And so being able to take a look at those things and say, hey, how can I recreate my culture in a way that actually serves me at the highest level and is going to serve my family, so that we have less and less of our Black, Indigenous, people of color dying by suicide, less of our Black, Indigenous, people of color suffering from strokes and cancers and other stress-related illnesses, right? And we know that there are other factors that play into having diabetes and cancer and other underlying health conditions. But stress, we know science is telling us, is a major factor for the Black, Indigenous, people of color. And so this is something that we as Pain Unwasted, we want to focus on, because it is painful to have finally felt that you have something, and then now you're in the hospital, that, wow, I was able to achieve this with my business, and now my family doesn't want to talk to me. We're not connected. That's very painful. And so we're here for you. We have a special program that we're going to be telling you about in subsequent shows that you may want to be a part of, or you may know someone that wants to be a part of that. And I'm really excited, as I think about some of the guests that we've been talking to. I love how we're going to be able to share strategies, on how to have a mindset shift as we look at these different issues that we as Black, Indigenous, people of color face, a big one, Victor, and I don't know if you feel comfortable talking about this. I'm actually putting Victor on the spot right now. So he might be like, yeah, right, I'm going to get you later, but
I probably will.
Yes.
Go ahead. Ask away.
No, because, as a married person, sometimes I just, have these. All right. Stay
What's
focused.
the question?
Okay. Stay focused. Anxiety. Yes. And I know that for you, you are a high performing professional, and you've talked to me about, anxiety and just how to, just being surprised that you're actually facing it, in some of the job roles that you've been in. And so, I was wanting to ask you, in terms of especially being a male, right? A Black man, you're supposed to be so super strong, nothing's supposed to be wrong with you ever. How have you, what are some things that you have been doing to help when you have faced anxiety? I know, right?
That's
I'm gonna be in trouble, guys.
Yeah, you're not gonna be in trouble.
Okay.
Well, I feel like, all right, so let's backtrack on anxiety just a bit, because I think my anxiety, at least in a notable way, started, after you had the nervous breakdown. And so, a lot of times I would, even though we had gotten over a hump, you're still, how do you put it? You're not out of the woods, but you're out of the forest or something like that. After,
so we're no longer in like crisis where we're at the hospital and all of that, but now it's the aftermath.
Right.
Got you.
And so even though you were getting better, I would still be at times at work wondering, is my wife alive or dead? At home, and taking a deep sigh of relief when you responded to my text, or I came home and you were okay, and that type of thing. And so, after that, I did go ahead and pursue therapy. It took me a couple of attempts to get to the right one, but after
To get to
therapy,
the right therapist.
to the right therapist,
Okay.
yeah. But after that, he definitely helped me to work through the anxiety. But in the process of that, I had to deal with me too, like
Mhm.
outside of the anxiety, like long held, I don't know, junk that needed to be tossed.
Yeah.
And still trying to stay on pitch with anxiety. Um, I think there was a sense of imposter syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
feeling like I'm not enough, not adequate um, to do anything, even the things that people say I'm good at. Feeling like I'm so fake. If they only knew how fake I was, And so
Yeah.
now, heading into my role as a med surg nurse, I was never going to apply for med surg because, I feel like I'm the type of person that is a recovering multitasker. And
Mhm.
I learned that, multitasking, nobody can really effectively multitask because you can't literally do five things at the same time. You give a little attention here and then you try to give some attention here. And, it's not really effective at the end of the
Mm.
day. Studies show it's more effective to focus on one thing and get that thing done and then shift over. All right. So anyway, I'm a recovering multitasker.
Yeah.
And so I knew med surg nursing, medical surgical nursing, where you're dealing with a lot of different things. One person could be in for um, heart issues. Another person could be in for diabetes. Another person cellulitis. Another person had joint surgery. And you have patients that are dealing with all of that. And so I said, no, I need to focus. So I thought I was signing up, applying for a surgical job, like surgery, OR. Yeah, I could do that. I get an interview and he's asked me all these questions. And they said, yeah, so this is a medical surgical position. I'm like, what? Man, I want to focus on one thing. Lord, what's going on here? Long story short, I accepted the job through encouragement of my wife, my dad, who's been a nurse for like 30 years, and et cetera, et cetera. But going into the job and like shortly after getting into the job, COVID hit,
Mhm.
And so my learning curve, I don't know, it was ridiculous. My biggest thing was I did not want to kill a patient by accident. Like
And that
just
was feeding the anxiety.
yes, yes.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of things. Lord, I don't want to hurt nobody. And this is with me now, having been out of nursing school 7 years, and only working over the past 2 years, So it was intense. And for me, I really had to pay attention to self care. I really had to make honest efforts, not only to spend time with the Lord, in the mornings, but also to exercise, um, to work out, to de-stress. And not that I was perfect at doing that, but I feel like my efforts are paying off. My workflow is way better than what it was at the beginning. But all that said, yeah, anxiety is definitely something that can come up and needs to be dealt with so that you can be more effective, whether you're an entrepreneur or a professional in any field. You've got to take care of your mental health. And if it means going to a therapist, look, going to therapy does not mean that you are
Come
quote
on, talk about
unquote
it.
crazy.
Come on.
It means that
Right.
you are at a place in your life where you realize that something in your mind has to change so that you can fly and
Yeah.
not be held back by misconceptions about yourself, your abilities, who you are in God even. So therapy is a very helpful tool to help you overcome a lot of those things.
Well, that's really powerful, Victor. I'm so thankful, because this is another thing that can be really taboo, to say that you're going to therapy, especially even as a Christian,
Mhm.
like, what do you mean you're going to therapy? Like, what's that about? And I'm so glad that's starting to change now, where people are becoming so much more open to the idea that a therapist isn't just going to crawl inside your mind and scramble your brain, right? Now, I'm not going to dismiss that there aren't people that are interested in doing that. I'm not saying that there aren't,
Well,
but by far there are so many wonderful professionals that can really help you to see where you may be believing lies. And one of my favorite authors says, lies believed break the circle of love and trust. That's Dr. Timothy Jennings. And so we don't always realize that there are things that we believe that are actually lies, and they're making us unhealthy. And so for me, one of the lies I believed as a high performing professional was that it was a good thing to be a workaholic. I would joke about it, like, yeah, I'm a workaholic, and I like, work all these long hours, and I'm at work even on my bed, and I felt good about that. I felt a sense of pride that, I am a valuable member to the team. I'm a good asset because this is how I do it, and I would be mad at people when I see them going out to, relax or go shopping or just go do something fun, get their nails done or different things like that. I'm like, two big things, excuse me, two big things was like, with all the work we need to do, what are you doing? And the other one was, Jesus is coming back. We don't have time for this. And I know that's a big one, as a Christian, that, sometimes, the idea can even be that, as a missionary, like, oh, I don't have time to do things, because do certain types of activities, this is not helpful. This is not beneficial. If I, go to a theme park, perhaps, or if I, I don't know.
Nice vacation.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Go
And
on
so
a vacation at all.
and if I go on a vacation, I better make sure I have some kind of literature to give to someone, or that I pray with a few people, because what am I doing there? Just having fun. And so those are things that I personally had to really work through, and I didn't realize that you can actually still be a high performing professional and not be a workaholic. That you can actually get tons of things done in less time, especially when you have been fed mentally and spiritually, emotionally, physically, And so that is really exciting. Man, I want to share a tool with you all, if that's okay, because I know that, this is a different type of show, and we just wanted to be able to share with you, what our pivot was going to be. So for those of you who may just be checking in, Victor and I, we are, we're Victor and Mia, first of all. And, our organization is called Pain Unwasted. And basically, it exists to help those high performing entrepreneurs and professionals be able to keep their families, keep their business, and be very successful, live their passion without having to lose either one. Okay.
And with that,
Mhm.
we figure more of the faith-based community would be more attracted because we are faith-based.
Yes.
We are Christian entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And so, I mean, we are open to whosoever will come, but ours is definitely Christian entrepreneurs, trying to find that balance, because some people are afraid of pursuing a success in a way that they fear might take them away from God. And that is very possible. It's a real concern. And we believe we're living it, that it's possible to do it, still be grounded in the Lord, still have your family intact, and still be able to make money to help fulfill your purpose, or to do your purpose and to make money, and to still be mission minded, even in the midst of that, to have a greater purpose, So, but back to what you were getting ready to say.
Well, yeah, no, I feel that you really just, you completed it. That's what we're here for. That's what we're about. And so that's the pivot in our show, because maybe you saw our advertisement possibly, and we are pivoting our show. Before, it was just focusing on entrepreneurs, but now we're opening it up to high performing professionals as well. And we're going to be doing more of a focus on mental health, mental wellness, mental well-being, and what that looks like in the workplace. What does that look like as an entrepreneur? What does that look like as someone who's maybe a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a stay-at-home mom? Hello, somebody. That's one of the hardest jobs I know I've ever had, is to also be a stay-at-home mom. And so we're going to be talking about those things and how we can continue to stay healthy and have all three. We can have our purpose, we can have our profit, and we can pursue it passionately, right? And so that's going to be awesome. And so I wanted to share with you all, before we close out our show today, just a tool that has been very helpful for me. And for those of you who maybe have seen an interview with me before, then you know that I love to share this. And this is called the brain detox. Okay. And so as a professional, you run into different things, whether you're working for somebody or working for yourself, where you have toxic thoughts that are coming to your mind, and they can literally impact the decisions that you're making because you're operating on a lie belief. And so we need to be able to take those thoughts captive as Christians, as Christian business people, right? So that we can make decisions that are going to be very profitable and not self-sabotaging. And so this tool that I'm about to share with you is really, really helpful, and I'm telling you it works. And what I love is sharing tools that I actually use, okay? Tools that actually work, okay? So not going to sit up here and lie to you and say that I don't struggle with self-sabotaging thoughts or, like I told you, with guilt. But now I know what to do about it, right? And these are one of the wonderful tools that you're going to get right now for free that you can do. Okay, so I want you to take out. You want to say something?
No,
go ahead.
It's just amazing because, somebody out there, and not that anybody viewing right now would say that, but it's just like, wait, you call yourself a mental health coach, but you still struggle? Well, think of it this way. If you're driving, anybody have a flat tire? Yes, I'm pretty sure you have. And if you've had a flat tire, you've probably had it more than once, right? The question is, do you know what to do to fix it?
All right.
Do you got your, tire iron in the back? Do you have a jack, right? And do you have an inflator? Or can you get somewhere to where you can inflate your tire? Right. So being able to fix that tire once or get it inflated or change it or whatever, it doesn't mean you're never going to have a flat tire again, but you know what to do about it. So having the tools, like me is saying, is powerful. So when you do have the situation again, because inevitably somebody will, you know what to do. So that's the power of having tools.
Yes, absolutely. That's a wonderful analogy.
Thank you.
You're so smart and fine.
Hey. Just like you, baby.
All right.
Anyway.
So this is the tool. Okay. So I want you to take out your paper because you want to write this down. And honestly, we want to direct you to our website as well. So, you can go to our website and be able to get this as a free download as well. Okay. So give it 24 hours, but you'll be able to get it. All right. Wink. Yes, I just gave Victor some work. But anyway, okay, so this is the tool. Okay, so you're getting it fresh, hot off the press if you haven't seen it before. But this is called your brain detox. And so the first thing you're going to write down is today I feel. Okay, today I feel. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to write down all the words that you feel. How do you feel today? How do you feel today? Do you feel good? Do you feel bad? Do you feel tired, stressed? Did you know you can feel really good and actually very, angry at the same time? You can. Your brain is so powerful, right? And so you just write it down. It doesn't have to make sense. And because it's your own journal, you don't have to worry about spelling. How about that, high performer? You don't have to worry about your grammar. You just get it down on paper, okay? Absolutely. You just do it. And so you write down all the words that you feel. So now the next section on your paper, you're going to write down ants. That is ANTS, okay? And if you've ever had ants, you know that it is so frustrating. They get into everything, and you can't just pray your ants away. You actually have to do something about it. So you can pray, God, what do I do? And then you take action. So that's what you're doing. You're writing down what are your automatic negative thoughts. That's what ANTS stands for, automatic negative thoughts, okay? And so they may sound like this, I'm never going to be able to start my business. I don't have enough money to take care of myself. What will people think if I decide to, go on this business venture? I'm a horrible mother. My kids don't love me. They're going to grow up and become criminals because I work, whatever it is, something bad's going to happen at the school. Whatever your automatic negative thoughts are, you're writing them down, and it's going to be my fault. A lot of times it comes like that, and it's going to be my fault. You right. And so you're writing them down, whatever it may sound like for you. And somebody might think, well, Mia, if I write it down, I'm giving them power. I'm giving the devil something, and the truth is he already gave those to you. You know what I'm saying? So what you're doing is you're writing it down. You're bringing it down to size so that you can see what's going on, so that you can, so that you can be able to take control of it, right? And you can't take control of something you don't see, right? You can't do anything about it if you don't know what's in there. And a lot of times when we're writing, we're activating that left and right brain. It's really helping us process. It's helping us to know. Research has told us that, hey, this is a great way to tell your brain and your body that I'm doing something about what's bothering me. Okay, so let's go to the next section. After you've written down the today I feel, the next part you've written down is your ants, your automatic negative thoughts. These are things that just automatically come to your mind, right? And then your next section is conversation with Jesus. Okay. And I love this. It's a conversation. This is where you literally just talk about how you feel, what's going on. God, I just feel like, are you really here with me? I really want to be successful. I want my family to do well. And I just feel like I'm stuck. And I feel like I'm praying and I'm talking to you, but I don't hear you talking back to me, Lord. Right? Whatever your prayer is, you can tell I've prayed this before. And so it's wonderful because you get to get it out. We don't have to feel that we can't have a real conversation with God, where we tell him we're struggling. And we see these in the Psalms, in Jeremiah, the Lamentations, right? In the Bible, where people are just really telling God how they really feel. They're not pretending that they have a faith that they don't really have. They're like, are you with me, God? Have you forsaken me? Things like that. So,
Man, don't lose your thought. But I think that's really amazing because people are afraid to tell God how they really feel. It's not like he doesn't already know.
Right.
And so you getting it out is all right. So you go with Elijah. After Mount Carmel.
No, you gotta save that one.
Save it.
All
right. So Jonah.
All right, okay, there we go. That's good because there's so many people. You're right.
Yes.
That's true.
So we got Jonah. He is like, basically, we won't go through the whole story. He runs, he jumps off the ship.
Yeah.
No, sorry, he gets thrown off the ship.
By his request.
at his request. Now, here's something that people miss. Jonah didn't know that he was about to be swallowed by a fish.
That's true.
Could it be that Jonah had suicidal ideation, but he got help, assistance? I don't know. That's a whole other
topic. He definitely is asking to die.
He
rather told them to
die.
Kill him. He told them to kill him. Basically.
He would rather die than do what God said in that moment. All right. Anyway, that was an aside. All right. So anyway, we're going back now to where at the end he's already preached to Nineveh, and he's sitting at the top of a hill, waiting for fire to come down on Nineveh. And we have the whole thing with the gourd that comes up and gives them some shade.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, yeah, wonderful gourd. Mm-hmm. And then a worm eats it, it dies. The sun is like burning him up. And now he's mad.
Yeah.
And like God's talking with him. God's not rebuking him. God is trying to reason with this brother. And what it comes down to is, Jonah, you're mad about this gourd dying that you didn't put there, but we got this whole city of people that I created and I love, and they've repented, and you want me to destroy them. Like, dude, like they are so bad off, they don't even know their left hand from their right hand. Why not have pity on them?
But I love what you're saying, though, the fact that Jonah could talk to God like that and he knew it. He could tell.
Yeah, but in addition to that, how God talks with him. God doesn't actually really rebuke Jonah. He could have been like, Jonah, because you are so heartless, I'm going to wipe you out. But God's like, Jonah.
He reasons with him.
Like, come on.
Wow.
Like, do you not understand?
Yeah.
This whole city of people is worth way more than this gourd? That just...
That's awesome.
I don't know if you all got what I was trying to say, but
I got what you're trying to say. You're saying that God was so compassionate with him. He didn't yell at him, start to make him suffer and be in pain because he was, feeling the way that he was. He talked with him. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right?
So as we were talking about this part of the brain detox, the conversation with Jesus, know that you can tell him exactly how you feel, no matter how ugly, how unchristian, for those of you that are Christian, no matter how bad it comes out, even, look, I dare say, I don't know if I get in trouble with somebody, even if you got to cuss. I'm not saying cuss God out, But I'm just saying, just get it out. He already knows what's in your brain and heart.
Yeah.
Get it out, because once you get it out, now you give God an opportunity to deal with it.
That's really awesome. That's really awesome. And that honestly brings us to the end of the brain detox. So you have today I feel, you have your automatic negative thoughts, then you have your conversation with Jesus. And what I like how you brought that out, Victor, is that it's a conversation. So, have you ever talked to somebody and then they don't say anything back to you? Or you say something to somebody, somebody says something to you and then they don't wait for you to respond. They're just like, okay, I'm done now. I'm good. Right. Well, in this case, you want to wait before the Lord, you say what you have to say and know that because it's a conversation, God will answer you in the way that he knows you need it. Right. So it may be right there in your session where maybe scriptures come to your mind or a story comes to your mind. It could be that God leads somebody to call you, or it might not happen right there in your brain detox, but while you're driving down the street, you see something on a billboard, or you notice something. God is going to respond to you in the way that you need it, right? He doesn't leave his children hanging. He is there to help us. He's not like the father that some people have had that was distant and not with you, and you wanted them to care, but they didn't, and some of us have had fathers like that. I know that Victor and I, we didn't have that experience. However, some of you have, and so this is something that we're also going to be addressing on our show. How does our upbringing show up when we're trying to be a high performer? Some of us who didn't have a father, or our father was distant, or our mother was distant, or those things. We're going to be talking about those things on the show, and how are people actually navigating through that? What can they do to continue to be that high performer, not only in business, but in their family, right? You can be a high performer in your family. All right, somebody, right? And so I'm sorry, I've digressed. The last part of your brain detox that you have to do is you have to end with 5 things, at least 5 things that you're thankful for or that you're grateful for, right? And this would be just as important as you wouldn't go to the bathroom and, do the number 2, poop, however you want to say it. And then you just walk on out. You don't wipe up. You don't wash your hands.
Oh, man.
It's the same as your brain detox. You have to end with 5 things you're thankful for, And the cool thing about the brain detox, honestly, it doesn't have to take a lot of time. You can do this in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I know that I've done brain detoxes and it took an hour or more, but it doesn't have to. You get to decide how much time you're going to spend on this. And you don't have to feel like you have to do it by writing. It's a really good thing to do is to write it out. But, for some of you that are on the go, right, you can just speak it into your phone. You know what I mean? You can do it even if you don't have your phone, but you're just mentally thinking about it. You can also do it that way. So you have options. And as a high performer, I like options, right? And I know that you do too. And so that's what we want to share with you. And 5 things you're grateful for could honestly sound like this. I'm just grateful this day is over. I'm grateful I have food to eat. Man, I'm grateful I got a bonus. Wow, I'm grateful that my marketing is actually paying off and I'm able to get new customers that I can serve at the highest level. It just depends on, what you're thankful for that day. And you could do this every day. You could do this more than once a day. You do it, but I can tell you that every time that I do the brain detox, I get so much clarity about my business. I get so much clarity about my family, about the stresses that I may have, about, being able to be financially successful. I'm able to just put those at rest, and better focus on what I'm trying to do. And that always equals, what do you call it? Success. Yes. And so anyway, that's what we wanted to share with you today. We're so glad you were here with us, that you're listening on. Victor, I don't know if you have anything you want to share before we close out.
Not so much on the brain detox, other than I've used it too. I actually do use it.
Yes.
Sometimes if I'm pressed for time, I might just do the 5 praises, just because it's important to start and end your day in the positive.
Yes.
Like, you don't want to start the day off in a bad mindset or a bad space. And you don't want to go to bed with stress on your mind either, but doing the entire brain detox has definitely been one of those things that have helped me get through the anxieties that I have dealt with. And I really feel like between last year and this year, like I've really come a long way with I guess I can't really say I've really been experiencing anxiety for a number of months. Thank God for leading me to a great therapist, as well as having tools
Yes.
to change that flat, to get it inflated. So definitely brain detox is I won't say the truth, but it will help you come to the truth,
Yes.
so to speak, when you can learn how to deal with, things that are bothering you.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, and it's just one of many tools that we're going to share with you on the show. And to be able to serve you at the highest level, we'd love to. Please go to our website, painunwasted.org, and you can sign up, get on there and do man, I'm messing the word that you're supposed to say. What is it called? A call. You can set up a call with us so that you can, so a strategy call. There we go, you guys. But you can do a strategy call with us and see if some of the things that we offer may be helpful to you or helpful to someone that you know. All right. And so you can do that at painunwasted.org
/contact. And when you get to the contact page, you can either just fill in the contact form, or you can scroll to, I think it's on the bottom of the page if I didn't move it to the top. But you can click to schedule a call.
Yes.
Schedule a call. Additionally, you can also, if you're trying to reach us, I know Mia mentioned the what's that thing? The handout that we give.
Oh yes, the brain detox handout.
What I'll say we'll do, the quickest way to get that is go ahead and shoot us an email at painunwasted@gmail.com. painunwasted@gmail.com. And once you shoot us that email and say, hey, please send me the handout on the brain detox, we will send that out to you. Okay. Additionally, we've got in the description some things that might be very helpful to those of you who are entrepreneurs that you may want to check out. If you are wanting to excel in your business, or you're looking for tools or resources or book or a coaching program to help you monetize your skills. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had on Randrick Chance on here, and he is the founder of Strategic Secrets, as well as the Monetize Your Skills Academy. And so if you click on the link, and I don't know if I have it up here, but it is painunwasted.org/chance. You can check out his resources. Again, it's in the description. So check out the description for the links, either in the Facebook post or YouTube, to check those things out.
Yes. That is an excellent program. Okay, you all, we are benefiting from that. And so as you see, we're going to grow. Okay. And so thank you for watching us. We're going to be praying for you, and we're asking that you pray for us, because we're a part of that Monetize Your Skills program as well. We have seen so many wonderful benefits from it, I am telling you. And so I'm excited to continue growing, and you actually see the growth in our podcast and in the other things that we're doing. You're going to start to see those things. And I'm just so grateful to be able to work with Chance on those Monetize Your Skills things that he's doing with us and for us. And so you'll see it coming up, and we'll hopefully see it for you as well. All right. Well, I think that's it right now, right? Hey, guess what? If you want a t-shirt, you want to rock a Pain Unwasted t-shirt, okay, this resonates with you, you can see how to get that at our website as well. All right. We have a wonderful designer and maker. And so you can have some merch, a hat, shirt, a hoodie, winter's coming up. You can go ahead and go to our website for that as well at painunwasted.org. I think we need to rock our merchandise one of the shows. Don't you think so?
I think that's a great idea.
You think a hat will fit on me?
No.
Oh, wow. Well,
but a hoodie might. Or
are you saying because my head's big? Like, what you saying?
I don't know if that would go well
over the hair.
I don't want you to mess up your hair. Like, okay. I like that dude. Like, that's really becoming on you.
Okay.
Yeah, a hat won't do it justice.
Okay, all right, got you. Well, one day we're gonna rock our merchandise so you can see it, and maybe you'll purchase some too. All right, well, have a good, wonderful rest of your Sunday, and we look forward to seeing you next week. We're gonna have a really awesome guest on here. You do not want to miss it, and so we'll see you next week.
Yes.
By God's grace.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're finding value from these podcasts, and check out our other shows as well. Yes. All right, y'all have a blessed day.